Marvel Rivals Season 2 ranks needs fixing, and no, I'm not going to talk about the meta and how the game is just going to die. I'm Sheik, I'm a top 500 strategist player, so please don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm making this video with the purpose of highlighting the issue so that the developers can fix it and not just to rag on the game. I love Marvel Rivals and their devs have proved their competency so far, so I have faith in them to fix this too. Anyways, we're going to talk about SR gains. Marvel Rivals introduced skill-based SR gains to Season 2 ranked. If you aren't aware of what this is, in essence you will gain more points if you perform well in a game when you win, and on the flip side, if you play really badly and you lose, you'll lose more points. This system is meant to reward players for carrying their teammates and punish those that may have caused the loss of the game. This sounds great, right? In practice, this change is terrible, especially for strategist players. Here is the issue, and let this not be understated. The SR gains for strategists are drastically lower than gains for tanks and DPS players, and the point loss are also ridiculously high. If you're not aware of the awful SR gains for strategists, every game your strategist players will be gaining anywhere between 15 and 20 SR, while your DPS and tank players will gain anywhere from 20 to 30. Even getting yourself MVP on strategists only wields 21 or 22 points in my experience. And even then, I check my teammates' match history and they're gaining more points than me. Even when I have the most healing in the game by at least 10,000, I'll still lose around 26 or 27 points, while my other teammates will lose a whole lot less. One of my teammates even lost 13 points the other day with me losing 27. How is that fair? The only factor I can see is that strategist players usually don't have a lot of damage or eliminations compared to their other teammates. For context, I'm currently hovering around GM2 this season, which is on the border of top 500. Whenever I play Invisible Woman, I have seen a lower discrepancy in point gains and losses since Invisible Woman's kit does a better job of grabbing all the stats on the leaderboard. She usually has decent damage, lots of heals and assists, and can be easily credited with eliminations. Now, if we compare this to another strategist like Rocket Raccoon, he usually doesn't have good damage stats or eliminations compared to his teammates. The rank system identifies this and punishes Rocket players, which is why you will find yourself losing more points on Rocket when you lose and winning less points with a victory. And this is very sad, as this is currently deterring strategist players from playing Rocket, even though he's one of the strongest strategists this season. Continuing with that point, players are being deterred from playing strategists altogether. I've been playing in and around the top 500 rated players currently, and I'm seeing a huge lack of strategists. I'm usually the only strategist that is pre-selected in the banning phase, and one of my teammates is usually pressured to fill, so they lock in an easy strategist like Rocket or Cloak and Dagger, usually just to stand there and heal bot. Then the cycle starts again. Play strategist, crappy point gains, play Rocket, even crappier point gains, that player not wanting to fill as strategist again, no one playing strategist. Every game I queue up, I pray for a strategist lord icon. On the day of making this video, I lost 5 games in a row where I had a filled strategist on my team. So my experience in high elo is being the only strategist main, which as you can imagine makes the game miserable to play, especially with Season 2's dive meta. So let's talk about the meta. It's atrocious, and I say this as a strategist main. It's not fun having 2, 3 or even 4 characters dive on top of me. My ranked experience consists of me running around screaming for my teammates to turn around and help me, and you can imagine what response I'm usually hit with. So the dive meta is also pushing players away from playing strategists. Players need to understand that in this meta, they need to turn around and help their strategist players. And no, the answer isn't just play Loki. Loki's lamps stall for a few seconds, yes, but ultimately it leads to the same fate without any help. While many popular content creators and players as a whole like to talk about how healer ultimates are overpowered and they ruin the game, I'd like to propose the opposite. I think healer ultimates need to be strong, as you can still kill through them with proper team coordination, and strategist players need to feel like they have at least some impact on the game. Marvel Rivals would be terrible if you were able to team wipe every time you pressed your Spider-Man ulti or your Psylocke ulti, but regardless of how overpowered these ultimates are perceived to be, it's hard to even build an ultimate in the first place with Ghost comps and full dive comps that eliminate you instantly. Healing is strong in Marvel Rivals because the damage is also very strong. There has to be counterplay to being one shot every 2 seconds. It's time we stop repeating opinions of our favourite content creators about how support is the easiest role and we're all boosted. I would like to see a relatively fast balance patch that rectifies the skill-based SR gains and losses and nerfs dive tanks a tad so that us strategists have a chance to breathe in this strategist drought. I need to see more people wanting to play strategists in my games. So next time you spam need healing and flame your strategist, be mindful that at least one of them is probably filled and they're trying their best. I think it's time that tanks and DPS players put some respect on strategists and stop instantly blaming them when things go wrong. Don't add to the problem and push more players to insta-lock DPS. However easy strategists are perceived to be, the role has a high skill ceiling. It takes skill, knowledge and experience to learn how to use strategist ultimates correctly and to utilize them to their highest potential. A strategist main could do all of this exponentially better than a tank or DPS player that is filling the role. So in conclusion, there are no strategist players. No one wants to play the role because of awful SR gains, an extremely unfun dive and triple tank meta, and reduced game quality caused by players trying to fill the role who are now realizing strategist is harder than they thought. And on top of that, we are deterred from locking in certain supports that are granted even worse SR gains. Let me know what you think to the new season and if you're experiencing the same problems with the new matchmaking system. Thank you so much for watching.